animal card. Frog and dog. Frog upright, dog reversed today. I don't think we read the dog reversed. I like the froggy. I think it's about cleansing. We got a really nice cleansing rain here. Holy smokes. Prairie dog. Prairie dog. That's about it. We also see dragonfly. Shoot to kill. That's what I think of when I think of dragonfly. Why? Because I've read that they are in the insect family or whatever. They have like a 99.9% kill accuracy. They're like the most deadly. That's why they're called dragons or something, you know? They can't hurt us, but when it comes to what they are hunting, they'll get you every time. So maybe we'll see what that's about too. Dog reversed. Okay. Let's use the Grateful Dead tarot since I'm wearing my Love is Real shirt. Not fade away. It's like a dark and stormy day over here in Humboldt. Before we get into the tarot, let's do Lenormand. I don't read reversals with the Lenormand cards. Lenormand's it's one of the first oracle cards. The tarot is not an oracle deck. Okay? We don't know where the tarot comes from. There are suspicions, and I have one myself. Lenormand comes from a woman named Marie Lenormand from the 1800s, the late 1800s. She's one of the first to do cartomancy. Do we need any Lenormand cards? Maybe this one? Stork. Change. Queen of Hearts. Queen of Cups. Change to what? Changes. Change of heart. We got heart. That's the Ace of Cups. And we have whip. Whip is the Page of Wands. I need one more with that. Whip and... hold on. Whip can sometimes be about conversations or conversations maybe that can lead to arguments. But not always. We need one more here. Key. Anything else? Rider. So, Stork. Stork in Lenormand. Yeah, it's about change. It does not have to do with babies, like the stork bringing the baby like we all think when we think stork. Stork actually has more to do with like migration patterns, change, reoccurring things. That's more like the ring, but it can be yearning, longing, shifts and changes, okay? And that coming with heart, this can also be relocation. I mean, if it does have anything to do with babies, then that brings change as well, right? But there's movement and change when it comes to our feelings, perhaps. A change of heart. And it could be that a conversation, either a conversation that's already happened or not, that has led to this, okay? Because this can be an intense conversation. It doesn't always have to be arguments. There's a conversation that has unlocked something and allowed for movement or change, I believe. Or there's a discussion that is needed, okay? There could be some travel involved with Rider and Stork coming out. These cards are so amazing. I want to get all the cards today, because why not? Change of heart, heavy discussions that unlock doors. We've been seeing dog come up a lot lately. I wonder why it's... oh, this is interesting. I just saw this. It's the second time I've seen it. It'll be the retriever. He's a dog. Should I see if it comes back out? Or should I read it? He's so cute. We'll see if he comes back out. A retriever. I see Penelope Dreamweaver. Okay. Oh, that gnome is coming out reversed. Epona's Wild Daughter. That looks... I think we need that one. And Penelope Dreamweaver. I learned how to read tarot from someone who only read from these cards. It's like I would study other readers, right? And see how they did it. But I liked the way that she read with these cards. It was how she read that then I based how I read the tarot. And it wasn't until many, many years later that someone gave me this deck. This is a very special deck. Brian Proud is a very special person. I would like to get one more. I kind of want Ilby. I like him. But if he doesn't want to come out, he doesn't want to come out. He'll come out when he's ready. Maybe that's why the dog is reversed. Oh my god. When is this guy gonna stop showing up? is on that person's head. Look at that. Gloomy and a doomy. Anything else? All right. A collective of pixies. That one wants to come out too. All right. We got a lot. We will put it together. We will put it together at the end. I'm going to try not to make it too long today, but it's a rainy day. Let's do a little Grateful Dead tarot today. What? We need Jerry. Jerry, we need you. He and I have a very similar muse, or had. He had a similar muse to me. Perhaps it's the same. You know, sometimes I would get on these channels. It was before I even would listen to his interviews. And there was this totemism that came to me, and it came very strong. And it's been around for a long time. And then I was watching an interview with Jer Bear. He said this fucking totemism. I had never seen the interview. It's we came here to have fun. We came here to have fun, motherfuckers. So I have theories about the muse, okay? I'm not going to get into my muse theories yet. It's kind of what channeling does, all right? We all channel when we find our flow state. Some people find their flow state through music. Some people find their flow state through art, through dance. Some people through speaking. I find mine in many ways. But we all have ways to tap into that universal flow state. That's the God frequency, all right? It's when we get out of our own way and we allow the magic to come in, okay? And some people, when we resonate with some art, when we resonate with certain films or music or art or whatever, it's because we carry that same frequency within us. And I believe in the Greeks, they believed that there were 7 muses, okay? There was the 7 muses, and there's the 7 chakras. There's the 7 levels of heaven. There's the 7 seals. 7 is the chariot and the star. Anyway, we all have a voice. We all have a way. I think oftentimes a lot of people are confused about what their calling is. What are we supposed to be here for? What are we supposed to do with our lives? We are just supposed to translate the unseen, to find this flow state, to find what makes us tap into that God consciousness, and to express that, to find a way to try to translate and express the mystery, the great mystery. When we tap into the great mystery, that's when we find our flow state. And it's not logical. There's nothing logical about it. When you try to explain it, you explain it away, okay? Except for me. I'll explain it to you. Hi guys, if you don't know me, my name is Toad, and I'm here with your daily transmission from the Toad Realm. Follow along, because I have a different perspective on these things that are not gonna stop being popular for a while. This ain't just a coming and going fad. You know how long astrology's been around, motherfuckers? If you don't believe in astrology, if you are that much of a skeptic, not a curious skeptic, but a naysayer skeptic, then you're going against most of history. Maybe you're in line with the last 100 to 500 years. You're part of the minority, motherfuckers. But anyway, this stuff is on the rise, and there are good ways, there are healthy ways that we can use it, there are constructive ways that we can use tarot and astrology and divination, and there are not so constructive ways. There are destructive ways. There are destructive ways to do this. I've been there. Okay. Little bit of a tangent there. A little bit of a Toad channel. What does the tarot have to say about all this? Maybe that's the whip. Let me discuss something with y'all. Let me just discuss something with you. What's the key? I'll give you the keys. What was I gonna do? What are some destructive ways that we can use tarot? Well, we can just keep asking and asking and asking. In fact, I kind of draw you guys in that way. I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to draw you guys in here. You guys got questions? You want me to try to answer them for you? I'm going to show you that they can't be answered, that you have to trust yourself. People can get so stuck with this. Even me, there's been times, this is a long time ago, but couldn't even decide to go out or not. Couldn't decide anything. You might have big Libra in your chart if you have this, without pulling a fucking card. It was destructive. And I realized I saw this. I saw it working. Saint Stephen with a rose. Can you answer? Yes, I can. But what would be the answer to the answer man? There. What would be the answer to the answer man? Okay, so there's the high priestess and then there's the Hierophant. There's the high priest and the high priestess. Okay? This is my birth card. It is, the high priestess is the feminine spiritual teacher. She holds all the secrets within. She doesn't outwardly speak it. She carries the knowledge. Okay? Now, the Hierophant, the high priest, he speaks the knowledge. He puts it out there. He teaches. The book is open. There's no book in this one. It's interesting what they're doing here. Look, one man gathers what another man spills. I never saw that before. It's one of my favorite lines. It's interesting there's arrows instead of keys here. But we have the key. We have the key. So we don't need it on the Hierophant, do we? I believe that the keepers of the tarot, that the makers of the tarot, that they knew that at this time, during the next turn of an age, I believe that this was created around the 1st century. And I believe that they knew that during this time that people were going to be leaning on divination again. They knew that people would be lost and that people will be looking for something. Something. Why? Because it's dark and it's fucking scary. Why? Because we're all waking up and it's shocking us. And so that's why people are moving towards faith. A lot of people are going to latch onto it in the wrong way, right? There are going to be false prophets. But the point is, they knew that this was going to be used as divination, that people were going to ask their questions. And they knew that it was going to work because divination does work, right? Because life is magic, because there are no coincidences. This is the signs and the wonders, right? But the more that you go in here, all right? And a lot of people are going to get lost. They're going to get so lost, okay? The same goes with astrology. They'll go in and they'll get stuck there. They'll get stuck in the asking of the questions. I know some astrologers, even some of my teachers, that they don't do anything in their life without electional astrology. They're controlled by the transits. They're controlled by the sky. And that's not the way to do it either. There's a huge thing called astrological anxiety, okay? It's like agoraphobia. Every transit could end up good or bad. We need to start looking towards the light, okay? You can be all into astrology and tarot and still be here. And then you can manifest that shit for yourself, You keep asking questions, you're going to keep leading to the same thing. If you actually study what the cards mean, which I have, I go online and I see a bunch of these readers that are just doing the surface level meanings that have been put on them over the years, instead of diving deep and looking at where did the Rider-Waite-Smith, the members of the Golden Dawn, the Order of the Golden Dawn, who were trying to take the secrets, the arcana from the Freemasons, from the other secret societies, and bring it into the hands of the people. That's why they made the Rider-Waite deck. They were part of the Golden Dawn, but they were putting pieces together too. They didn't have all the answers either. This is all up for interpretation, okay? And the same thing goes with astrology, there's a point where we stop. People don't realize, people get so hung up on the code. They get so hung up on the reality of the stars. Yeah, it is going to work. That what is going on up here is going to reflect what is going on down here. That's the big spins and the little spins. You understand? All right, that's going to work. But then they stop there. They notice the code and then they still get programmed by it. They still don't break out of it. People will see what's in their chart and they'll be like, oh, I have this, or this, oh, my Mars is in Virgo. So they use that as an excuse to act like an asshole or whatever, whatever placement it is. We all have placements that can end up negative. But we don't stop there. There's always going to be things that we can't control. We are going to get controlled by the planets. We are going to get pulled by the grahas, the planets in our chart. They're going to. Especially the reactionary ones like Mars and the moon. Our anger, our emotions, they can come on very quick. We are human. And so yes, the first thing is that we have to have compassion with ourselves. We have to forgive ourselves because we're all programmed differently. Okay? But then we don't stop there. Then we have to try to break out of it. Then we have to try to do something differently. We forgive ourselves, we forgive others, and then we try. If there's a teacher out there that pretends to know what the fuck, that pretends to know everything, that is trying to say that they're complete, that they're done doing the work, they ain't done. No one's done. What would be the answer to the answer, man? All right. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the Hierophant. The Hierophant is a card of tradition. It's a card of study. It's a card of commitment. It's a card of institutions. Interesting reading. I didn't think I'd get on like a big channel this morning like this. But here I am. Here I am. Perhaps that's the key. The key to our Dominus Gloom. 2 of Cups. We'll see if it comes back out. We'll see if it comes back out. Should I keep it? I love the 2 of Cups. 2 of Cups with is that commitment? We'll see. Don't look, Toad. Oh, I'm looking. No, I gotta keep them. It's the Ace of Pentacles and the 2 of Cups. No, I'm gonna see if they both come back out. They knew that we were going to be leaning on divination. They knew that we were going to question and question and question and keep questioning. But the only way is to stop questioning. The only way is to stop thinking so much and to just have faith. Yikes. Look, here's the High Priestess. We're not. And there's the Magician. Lady with a fan? Listen to your intuition. You have all the secrets within you. You do not need to keep asking questions. You do not need to keep coming here looking for a yes or no answer. Are you going to get the good one? Are you going to get the good card? Or are you going to get the bad card in this lifetime? We all get it, motherfuckers. We all get given a lot in life. Look, they're a pair. We got a match. We have all the power. That's the only secret. The secret is that the only secret that's hidden with the High Priestess is number 0 and 1, the ones that come before. The Fool and the Magician. We can relax. As soon as we start relaxing and sitting in this inner knowing, then we get out of our own way and it starts to show up. It starts to flow. Okay. What else, please? 10 of Wands. I don't know whose back's that strong. Maybe we'll find out before too long. You can't be carrying this around with you all the time. You will be weighed down. You will be weighed down. 9 of Wands. 9 and then the 10. We gotta let it down. 9 of Swords. Do I have to do my 9 rant? Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum. Why am I... What the fuck? We could always be at the 9s. For those of you who haven't heard it yet, if you have, you can skip over it. But we all need this reminder. We all need this reminder that we're always at all of the levels all at once. In some spin, in some area of your life, you're at the 1. In some area of your life, you're at the 2. You're at the 3. You're at the 4. You're at the 5, okay? Sometimes in the big spins, then we linger for a long time at the 9. Before the turning over, before the letting go, before the new cycle begins, then we linger at the 9. And the 9 is where we might give up a lot of the times. The 8 and the 9, okay? They're kind of like, you can't just... Life isn't static. There aren't like hard lines between these things. So that's why they kind of made it that way. Why the Rider Waite and Smith made it that way with the images on the Minor Arcana. Like the 10 is really the very end of the 9. The 10s that they show, like the 10 of Swords with the swords in the back. 10 of Wands where it's back-breaking work. That's the end. That's still the very end of the 9. And then it starts again. Then we just go back to the Ace, okay? But look, we're always at the 9. And we're always at the big turning. There's new cycles beginning all the time. We want to get to the Ace, okay? We can always be here. Before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. You're never going to have to stop working. The heavy things that have happened to you are always going to be there. You can always look at life like a battle. You can get up every morning and be like, fuck, here we go again. Sometimes I do. Still, we have to train our brain. We have to train our brain. There are ways. We're always going to have to do this. We've been through hell before. We can always be here. There's always going to be something to worry about. There's always going to be something to stress over. Even if there's nothing in your life that's going wrong, which I'm sure that there is, then there's things out in the world that are horrifying. Just turn on the news and you can get like this. Motherfuckers, turn off the fucking news. We need to be like this. That's how we actually get to the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles, which is really just the 9. Okay, that's the trick. You may not, these are my single and loving it cards. These are having enough, but you always have enough. Are you breathing? Are you breathing, motherfuckers? Then you have something to be grateful for. You have a chance to play the game, all right? She doesn't have the house, the spouse, the kids, the dogs yet, but she's content with all of the material possessions that she has. She might be living in a fucking camper with her son, but she's content, you know? He might not have the fairy tale yet. He might not have the wife and the kids and the cottage. He might not have the rainbow after the storm yet, but he's content. We have to get here. Just like when we are struggling, we have to lay down the burden. We have to lay down the burden and we have to let it die. Let the old way of thinking die. We kind of have to get to that 10 of Swords where we're defeated. Remember what I say about the 10 of Swords. Can't get any deader than dead. Now it's time to have a new way of thinking. So the 9 and 10, we need to lay down this burden. Stop waiting for a battle that is never going to come. Okay? Because that can happen. That can happen with this. It's like you've been through so much. You've been through so much pain. People have fucked you over. You've worked so hard that then you prepare for more and more. You look for it. You do not have to do that. Expect good. Expect good. No. Holy shit, guys. I just got the 10 of fucking Swords. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be, motherfuckers? 9 and the 10 of Swords. 9 and the 10 of Wands. What was I just talking about? We make what we think. Our our thoughts show up in our reality. They do. If you're bummed, if you're feeling like gloomous doom, then you're gonna see more gloomous doom. You're gonna see more gloomous doom around you over and over. We have to steer our brain to look at something else or to look at nothing. Like I said yesterday, or was it the day before? Sometimes there isn't anything really in your physical reality that's good to look at. I've been there. And that means that either you're going to keep looking at your current situation, you're going to stay down 15, the devil, or you're going to not think of anything for a while. Try meditating. That's where meditation comes in handy. You need to take the path of least resistance in your mind. We're getting to the end of a cycle here. An end of a cycle of the victim mentality, that everything bad is going to happen to you, that preparing for that battle, right? It keeps you up at night. It's a heavy weight. You've been carrying around a heavy weight and you've been carrying around the burdens of the world, your burdens. Yeah, they're there. I'm not saying they're not there. I'm not saying it's not hard. I'm not saying it's not. It is. There's no other way. Otherwise, we get drowned in it. We get drowned in our burdens. We whip ourselves, motherfuckers. Someone's forgetting the secrets. Wherever he goes, the people all complain. There it is. Remember the Terrapin of Bears wanted to come out before? There's a new beginning. What do I always say about, I say this about the Page of Pentacles a lot. It's the Page of Pentacles. Ah! Are you guys getting it yet? Holy shit. King of Wands. Kings. My kings. Turn it upright. The Empress. Delilah Jones was the mother of twins. Okay, so what I was going to say. Okay, yeah, the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace is what all the court cards are holding, right? So the Page of Pentacles is holding the Ace of Pentacles. He's holding this possibility, this new opportunity when it comes to the material world, to the earth element. So sometimes, yeah, a lot of divinatory readers, this is where we can get hung up. You know, a lot of divinatory readers will be like, oh, there's something new coming in, you know, maybe a gift, maybe it's commitment, maybe it's new job, maybe it's money, you know, something like that. When really what we need to think about with the Ace of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles is that we're holding on to our own body. The real gift, the real potential comes from us having a body that we can act, do, and be, and live on this cutting edge, that we have a chance at the game of life. That's the gift. So the pages, they're usually holding it and they haven't quite moved forward yet. It's the knights that take that ace and then move forward and act on it. Okay? The pages are considering it. They're holding it. There's someone here also that thinks that they don't have anything to offer. They think that they don't have, that their pentacle is not good enough. They think they don't have it. Maybe it's the King of Wands. I mean, he came under that, right? It was the ace. Like, there is this potential. But then someone's like, no. Or, you know, whatever. And then we got the King of Wands. It's because he doesn't have enough confidence. It's because he doesn't believe that he's the king. You know, my torchbearers, we're all kings and queens. So whether or not this is you, which this is always you, and it can also be someone in your reality, okay? He doesn't have the confidence for this queen, it seems like, this empress. This has to do with everything, though, okay? There's love involved. I'm always going to see the love story. I'm always going to see, but what it always comes down to, what this always comes down to is us learning to be our best selves. All the different possibilities we have. I know this king, there's some emperors out there who lack the confidence. They lack the confidence to believe that they can have all the things, you know? That they can have an empress. The wheel's turning. The wheel is turning. We all have this opportunity. Rota, R-O-T-A, T-A-R-O-T, the wheel. Rota in Italian and Latin. We can break out of it. Certain things are fated, yes. We're fated to have the rain come down. We're fated to have fall and winter and spring and summer. We're fated to have night and day. Fated to have rainstorms. But how we react to it, that's up to us. What are we going to do with the hand that we've been dealt? Someone feels like they're running out of time on a love connection, maybe. Putting those back. Please clarify the wheel. The Emperor. Page of Swords. And the Tower. The Emperor. We have the Emperor and the Empress. Daddy made whiskey and he made it well. He's going through an awakening. Tearing down the old towers. Page of Swords. This Emperor's worried about the things that he says. About... What do I say? He's worried about his mind. Please clarify. Please clarify. Sunflower. We got the sun. I think he's worried about something being revealed about his mind. It's a card sometimes of like mental health, of an imbalanced mind. If you ask me if I look at any cards as that, then the reversed Page of Swords. That's okay. It becomes mean. What can I say about that? Justice. We all have the shit. We all have the ability to be the Gloomness Doom. And it's not about just having like the sun. You know, people think that it's about optimism and everything. It is not this is not ignorant bliss. It's not love and light. It is having walked through hell. Having gone through hell and come out the other side. This is not ignorant bliss. Oh, 10 of Pentacles. Ace of Swords. Knight of Swords. Knight of Wands. But it's seeing clearly. Seeing clearly. Is there anything else you can say about that? It's the same fucking cards. There's that Two of Cups. That's interesting. I wonder what they say about the Two of Cups. Maybe I should read it. I keep getting the seven of coins, or the 7 of bears, and the 7 of wands, or the 7 of bolts with this. And I'm getting mystery, which is the moon. You know, this is what we have to go through in order to get through here. We have to have faith at the level of the star, 17, the chariot, 7 of 17, to go through and get to the sun, right? This is standing up for what we believe in. Someone could also be very defensive because of this, okay? This is waiting, planting the seeds, investing, okay? The investments, and then you just gotta wait. You gotta wait for the payoff. Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands and the 4 of Wands. And there's the star. Okay, I gotta stop with the tarot. Wow. Where's my King of Wands? We got the King and the Queen. We got Bertha and Uncle Sam over here. Gotta have faith. There is a fountain. I love when the cards confirm my totemisms and the things that I say. The things that I say. Golly. But I always liken the Fool the center of the wheel. These are all like my little totemisms. The Fool, the center of the wheel, the Ace of Cups, and the Star together. And with the Ace of Cups, I always mention this song, Ripple. Ripple in still water, where there is no pebble tossed, no wind to blow. Reach out your hand if your cup be empty. If your cup is full, let it be again. You should know there is a fountain that was not made by the hands of men. I'm trying to make this quick. A lot of cards, but what is Dragonfly about? Dragonfly is illusion. Came reversed, so I'm going to read that. Are you trying to prove to yourself or someone else that you have power? Are you caught in an illusion that weakens your true feelings or minimizes your abilities? If so, you may have contacted Dragonfly dive bombing. Is this the final crash and burn for some pipe dream that had no real purpose? That's the Tower. Is there something that you thought you wanted because you thought that it would bring you status or power, or that you thought it was what other people wanted, or you thought that it was what you should want? You need to be yourself. You need to admit what you want for yourself. Don't build a life based on what other people want. Know what you want and build on that. Look within and feel the sense of self energy within you. Notice if it is ebbing, and find the point in time when you were deluded into believing that you would be happier if you changed because someone else wanted you to. Misery is a prime clue that you lost your will and personal validity when you brought into someone else's idea of who or what you should be. The illusion was that you would be happier if you did it their way. In forfeiting what you know is right and true for you personally, you give away your power. It is time for you to take it back. This is huge. There's emperors out there. There's some emperors and empresses out there who have realized that they were building their life on a lie. That's a huge tower. It's a huge tower to bring down. This is what the Star really is discovering what really fulfills you, what really is for you. What do you really want? What is your true purpose? What is your true calling? In forfeiting what you know is right and true for you personally, you give away your power. It is time for you to take it back. Follow Dragonfly to the place inside your body where magic is still alive, and drink deeply of its power. This strength belongs to you. It is the power of becoming the illusion. This ability is ever-changing and contains within it the knowledge that you are creating it all. That is so the Star. Find the place inside where magic is still alive, because it is there. It is there. The magic is still there, guys. There's always a glimmer of the Star. You can't get off the wheel. You can't end this game by hating it. You can't beat the game by quitting. You get stuck here. We need to cleanse with Frog. That's really important. Frog sings the songs that bring the rain and make the road dirt more bearable. Frog medicine is akin to water energy and the east on the medicine wheel. This is perfect for this grand water trine and this storm that has just passed. It was pouring in here this morning and now the sun's shining. Water prepares and cleanses the body for sacred ceremony. The key thought is to find a way to rid yourself of distractions and replace the mud with clear energy. Then replenish your parched spirit, body, and mind. Someone's also going through a soul cleansing. This is part of this. We're cleansing out the dominous gloom. We're cleansing out the parts of us that we thought were bad, that we thought were broken. We're not broken. We're not. The ability of Frog medicine people is to give support and energy where it is needed. A Frog medicine person can clean negativity from any environment. Many mediums or clairvoyants who work with cleansing haunted houses carry Frog medicine. Many of the world's seers use water on their hands when tapping into other realms of reality due to water's superconductive nature. Us amphibians, it's mercurial, land and water. In Mayan and Aztec shamanistic practices, the shaman places water in his or her mouth and sprays it over the body of the patient to clear away negative energy. Frog speaks of new life and harmony through its rain song. The deep tones of Frog's ribbit are said to be a call to the thunder beings. Thunder, lightning, and rain. If the thunder don't get you, then the lightning will, motherfuckers! Woo! Call to Frog and find peace in the joy in taking time to give to yourself. A part of this giving is cleansing yourself of any person, place, or thing that does not contribute to your new state of serenity and replenishment. Oh, what else? What else? What else? Oh, prairie dog and dog. Prairie dog. What do they do? Retreat? I think that's retreat. We've read it before, right? Retreat. Yeah, okay, so this just means that someone needs to go within and take some cleansing. Someone really needs to stay away from the people that contribute to their doom and gloom. Okay? Doesn't mean you have to reject people. It doesn't mean you have to be completely a hermit. It just means it's time to go within a little bit. It's time to notice how other people affect you. Okay? After a comfortable and relaxed time, you can return with a fresh perspective. In the meantime, the dynamics of the situation may have changed because your retreat allows the present challenges to work itself out. There is simple strength available if you quit pushing and go with the flow. Prairie Dog says its tunnels run both ways. Now it's time to choose the backdoor exit for some rest and relaxation. Okay? Now let's just read Dog. Dog reversed. Because we've been reading Dog lately. What's Dog reversed? Because it's all about loyalty. Contrary Dog. In the contrary position, Dog may be telling you that you have become critical or mean due to the company you are keeping. Guys! Did I just say that? Did I just say that? Holy shit. The reversal of this medicine could also imply that it is time to stop cowering with fear and time to begin to tackle the adversaries of your confidence. Kings! Come on, my kings and queens. We are the torchbearers. We got to be confident. The key is to realize that these are not external enemies, but thought forms in your own mind. Which tell you that you are not worthy of loyalty. Let me read that again. The key is to realize that these are not external enemies, but thought forms in your own mind, which tell you that you are not worthy of loyalty, either to yourself or to others. You may want to examine the pattern of disloyalty in your life. Do you, for example, pass on gossip or not speak up when someone else is rumor mongering? Do you make jokes that belittle others? Do you refuse to return kindness? These are characteristics of fear, and particularly of a fear that is common to the human two-legged family. The fear of not belonging or of not being approved of. Reclaim the power of loyalty of self and self-truths. Become like Dog, your own best friend. Yeah, someone needs to feel better about themselves, to cleanse, to go within, to stop listening to what other people say about them as well, or what their fear tells them in their heads, you know? All right. We know what doom and gloom is, right? I love that the sun is coming out, guys. It's not so gloomy anymore today. Sun is shining. Weather is sweet, yeah. Oh, I just opened right to Penelope Dreamweaver. That was the first card we pulled. What's she about? Inspiration, magical dreams and visions. Weaver of dreams, bringer of visions. Muse. Muse of artistic inspiration. I don't know why I'm good at this. When she comes to us in dreams, we waken under her enchantment and rush for our paints or clay or other forms of expression. The creative rulers. They rule with their creativity. We all create. We are all creators. So I just got a message that I haven't even thought of with the torchbearers. The reason why these guys are the rulers of any of the minor arcana is, one, because we build our life on the fire. Because when we build our life on our passions and our joys and openness and all that and creativity, then it doesn't fall. It doesn't become a tower because we continually alchemize it. We continually burn it up. A burning house can't come down because it's continuously burning. That makes sense? Anyway, even if you don't feel like you're creative, even if you don't do anything creative with your life, you create your reality. We all create our realities. So my torchbearers, those of you guys who are tuning into this, those toadies, you guys that are tapping into the toad medicine, all right? We are learning that we create it. We create it by learning the code and breaking out of it, by using our mind, okay? So I think that was just because of the muse, you know? Like, we all have it to tap into. And I think that's what that was. Then there is, we know what doom and gloom is. What other ones did we have? We had Epona's Wild Daughter and the Collective of Pixies. All right, let's do Epona's Wild Daughter, 54. Inner shadows, nightmare, depression, madness, and growth. What did I say about that Page of Swords? You know, someone's worried about their mental health. Someone thinks that, I think I need to read this whole one. In the bleakest part of night, Dorcha comes. The star comes at the darkest time of year, the darkest time of night, the darkest times of our life. This is what I'm trying to say, people. This is what I'm trying to say. The ones that have gone into their darkness, the ones that are not afraid to see their darkness, they're the ones that are closest to God. Those are the ones that find themselves. The more that we run from the tower, the more that we run from the devil, the farther we get from the star. We don't need a reason to find faith until we've lost it. In the bleakest part of night, Dorcha comes, wearing her crown of fairy stars. She kneels on an ancient owl, bearer of the hidden wisdom of the night, and facing into the past with a clear, unflinching gaze. She holds us. We are held immobile, inwardly focused by her comforting, yet implacable, light-filled hands. She asks riddles that often seem impossible to answer at first, and yet she will not let us go until we find the solutions within ourselves. She is one of the great teachers of fairy, but her method of teaching makes Socrates' questions look like child's play. We must expect this of Dorcha, because her lessons are about the shadow side of ourselves, the things we fear, our insecurities, self-doubts, and denials. She is a practitioner of tough love therapy. Dorcha is the wild daughter of Epona, lady of the horse and the moon, and she takes us through the dark, hidden side of ourselves, and into healing and fulfillment. You cannot get to healing unless you get to the dark. From the temporary madness of rage, premenstrual tension, or great stress, to the deeper and longer psychoses. She drives us on the journey through our internal hells. This is a deep reading, guys. You have to go through hell to get to the sun. And how many times do I have to say to you that when we play the game of life, when we play any games, when we watch any movies, we want to see the good guy fight the bad guy. We want conflict in order for it to be entertaining. And usually the bad guy is ourselves, 100%. When we complete the journey, we are transfigured and transformed, transcending our old selves. We can never be frightened by that darkness again, whether our own or that of others. But until that journey is fully complete, we exist in a state of vulnerability, which is where most of us are most of the time. Notice, please, that it is she, and not her more gentle sister, Laïste, who wears the crown of stars, a mark of service, compassion, and great wisdom. Dorcha's element is moonlight, the fifth element, which tempers and tests the spirit. Through her teaching, our inner conflicts and struggles become, as they are resolved, our greatest strengths. Epona's wild daughter Dorcha is the Sphinx, whose riddles must be answered lest we otherwise be destroyed by our own internal conflicts. Dorcha reminds us that we cannot go forward until we have faced something buried within us that is holding us back. Her presence in a reading tells us that finding and working through this task is of some urgency. That's why that 5 of... We can expect help in this in the form of other people, from the fairies, and from our dreams. But we must be open to these difficult questions and answers and be ready to face things about ourselves that are not as we would wish them to be. She urges us to heal the unresolved issues about who we really are and what we truly want to be. This is part of the required course in Self-Transformation 101 that we are all enrolled here on planet Earth. The answers to her riddles often come in sudden bursts of enlightenment, like the tower. We may watch a leaf fall or catch the glimpse of a tiny sliver of the new moon in the sky and suddenly be hit by the answer. Before that happens, we usually work long and hard upon the question, searching and digging for the answer. The realization, when we really have it, will be transformative. I know what collective... I'm getting huge chills. We are all going through the dark and during it, we're not going to be able to unsee the darkness. We aren't going to be able to go back to sleep. Once you are awake, then we either stay here or we learn to do this, okay? Card 48, a collective of pixies. Duty, willingness, joyful participation, virtue. We all get to this point on the path, okay? So really, this kind of relates to my Fool principle, where those of us who have not been around the wheel as much as others always see them as fools. It's kind of a paradox, because the wisest among us are the ones that are sometimes looked like fools in the eyes of the other, in the eyes of those who have not been around enough. Okay. Now, those of us who have been around for a really long time, I hate my hair right now. Those of us who have been around for a really long time, what I was going to say for a second, but the thing is, the oldest of souls, those of us who have been around the longest, we go through this period where we hate the game. It's when we forget that it is a game. Like, we go through a part in the spiritual path where it's like, fuck. Like, I'm stuck in samsara. I'm stuck in hell, where we realize the toil, where we realize that life is suffering, like the Buddhists say, right? And then that becomes the hardest challenge, is pulling us back out, is learning to have this joyful participation in the game. Because we can't beat the game. You can't get out of samsara. You can't get out of hell until you go through it. You can't get out of limbo until you go through the maze. You can't become king unless you extract the sword from the stone. Pixies could treat their duty as something boring or oppressive, but they choose to take joy in doing it and doing it well. We are faced with duties. Are you faced with duties? Like the old saying goes, a merry heart makes light work. We have a choice about how we do anything. This is back to that 9. We have a choice in how we do anything. We're always at the 9. This is the key to get us out of samsara. This is the key. This is the key. I'm giving you guys the key. I'm giving you guys the motherfucking keys. Are you guys listening yet? The way that we beat the game of life is by knowing that it's a game, is by looking at it like it's a game. Maybe it's not a game. Maybe it's not. But we need to act as if it is. This is what it says. We have a choice about how we do anything. We can make a game of it and do it happily. We can take an attitude that makes it demanding and oppressive. Demanding and oppressive. That was the first card, or one of the first cards. We can choose to regard it as boring and dull. When we choose the first attitude, the results have a different feeling, a different energy than the results of the other two. Anyone and everything that come in contact with the result of that work feels the difference and is affected differently by it, whether they notice it or not. So here's another of those places where we can make the world better or worse and do the same to ourselves simultaneously. What is needed here is not only an awareness of duty, but a merry approach to it. This job has been done, so one might do it willingly. Progress through this dance maze, limbo. Progress through this dance maze step by step. Lithely and lightly, take joy and pride in achievement. Approach the work with zeal, zest, and zing, and perhaps even a little zaniness as well. Otherwise, you might as well not bother. Well, almost. There is something about this lighthearted approach to your duty that is important at this time in order to achieve the results you want. Additionally, consider the words collective and cooperative as you make your plans. Or of Wands. You guys paying attention? I can't explain it all. You have to keep following along and get the pieces as we go along. This situation may take more than one person, perhaps several working together to achieve the desired result. Joining forces with others is appropriate at this time. Seek the cooperation of friends, family, coworkers, and fairy as appropriate. So that could be why the 2 of Cups and the 4 of Wands showed up. It doesn't have to be romantic. This does not have to be about love. I just cut to the motherfucking musician, which is the magician. We have the power. I love you guys. This was a great reading. Now the sun's out. Let's go have a good day.